Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So in this video, we're going to discuss on collision and transition state theory. Okay, so basically, you may read all these notes on your own. Okay, so there's a few pages, but I will summarize it for you in this in these few slides. Okay, all right. So as you read the notes, you must have a question in your mind. Okay, so how does a reaction occur? So first thing first, you need to understand what is reaction. So basically, reaction is a mechanism or a process from a reactant change into a product. Okay, so when a reactant change to product, then we call it a reaction. So there are many reactions we have learned before: acid-base reaction, precipitation, a redox reaction. So all those is a process from a reactant change to product. So for a reaction to be able to produce products, reactant must collide through effective collision. Okay, so what is effective collision? We might ask. Okay, so effective collision is when the collision really took place correctly so that your reactant can change to product. So does every collision an effective collision? No, definitely not. So when a collision is considered as effective collision, okay, so it is called as effective collision when first it hit at the correct orientation. So what does it mean by hit at correct orientation? So correct orientation is where the reactant binds at the specific place. Example, so I have two reactants here, so they keep colliding to one another. So this is a normal collision because collision can happen anywhere. But what is effective collision? Effective collision is when it hit right at its place and fit in. So this is effective collision. Okay? Alright, next, what is our second prerequisite for effective collision to occur? Okay, so for effective collision to occur, it needs a high energy. How high energy? So we need energy that exceed the activation energy. So do you remember what is activation energy? Yes, activation energy is the smallest amount of energy that need to start up the reaction. Okay, so that is about the effective collision. So whenever you describe a reaction in collision theory, make sure that you always end up that it must have a effective collision, because effective collision always carry the marks. Alright, so we can also describe any changes in our reaction based on collision theory. Collision, what does it mean collision? Perlanggaran, okay? So based on collision theory, basically we can describe two incidents, okay, or two factors. First is when concentration change, or the second one is when the temperature change, okay? So if these two parameter change, we can describe it by using collision theory. Okay, so now, so how can we describe concentration? So we know collision maksudnya pelanggaran. So we always describe what happened to the changes of the rate of reaction based on pelanggaran, based on the collision. So if concentration increase, so you must be able to imagine that when concentration increase, what actually change is actually the number of particle. Okay, so the number of particle also increase. So as the number of particle increase, okay, there will be more collision. Sebab ada banyak-banyak kan, so there will be more collision which led to effective collision. Therefore, when there is more effective collision, our rate of reaction, the rate of reactant change to product increase. So whenever we have temperature, on the other hand, okay, so when we have a change in temperature, you must always relate it to the kinetic energy. Okay? So as temperature increase, our kinetic energy increase, meaning that our particle have more energy to move around. So the particle move faster and collide with higher frequency, meaning that it collide even more, that lead to more effective collision. Therefore, rate of reaction increase. Okay, so that's few slide actually I simplify into this one page. So hopefully that you understand this, and I'm going to continue with our next video.